You know, we're facing the biggest public health crisis and the largest economic crisis in a century. And in Montana, we actually took aggressive actions early, and Montanans responded. So that's what's also led us to still among the lowest per capita positives in the country. And it's also led us to among the lowest unemployment rates. And Montana is ranked in the top 10 for recovering to the back end of this. But folks are still hurting out there. And we do need to make sure that they get what they need to keep the doors open. That's why we actually use those CARES dollars and focused on our small businesses, payroll and rent. 10,000 small businesses got $120 million along the way. We paid and provided assistance for some adaptation, $125 million program so they could actually defer their loans along the way. So I think what we need to do when we go forward is a number of things. One of which, make sure that the money's going where it should, and that's to our main streets. Two of which, even before COVID, I thought we needed a big infrastructure bill. Not only because it would create good jobs, not only because it could address things like rural broadband, but if we can't get Democrats and Republicans to agree on infrastructure, it is more broken than I could imagine. So I'll be taking a look, just like I have throughout, at the science and the economics, not the politics, as we craft what might be needed come January.
We are going to open it up now on this particular topic, and to start that segment, we'll begin with Governor Bullock.
Yeah, and Senator, you know that's actually not true in so many different ways. Like, even look when we made the June election by all-mail ballot. It was Speaker Hertz and the President of the Senate that said, great job, and we have met with them along the way. When it comes to those CARES dollars, you know that $1 billion has already been allocated, committed when we still have 4 months to go. Look, if we had waited for Washington, our schools wouldn't be open. The senator took a summer vacation about a month. Our universities wouldn't be testing. We wouldn't be providing a second round of relief along the way for our small businesses. And I would respectfully suggest that you get your own house in order. You fought for a $500 billion slush fund with no transparency. As of now, less than half of that money is even committed, let alone out the door. So let's actually help our businesses, our producers, our hospitals. That's what we've been doing here, and that's what I'll continue to focus on.
Senator Daines.
Yeah, well, it's talking about leadership. It's talking about how do we spend that $1.25 billion, which was this huge grant we gave the state of Montana. It's been radio silence and crickets with Republican leadership. That's how you bring it. If I'm the governor, I bring those leaders together and sit down. How are we going to allocate and then actually deliver that $1.25 billion? He used the words allocate. The question is, whose bank account is it in right now? It's in the state's bank account. It has not been actually transferred and delivered to so many communities across Montana that are hurting. But here's what we need to do in Washington. We need to continue to expand funding for testing. We need to continue to expand funding for treatments so we can lower the mortality rate of COVID-19. These amazing monoclonal antibodies, things like remdesivir, that are going to be key here to helping address those Montanans who actually contract the disease. We need to continue to get the vaccines developed, safely developed, and out to the American people of Montana to help our schools and our hospitals. Also, the Paycheck Protection Program that helped 24,000 Montana businesses to the tune of $1.7 billion. We need to replenish that fund to help so many Montana businesses keep their employees on their payroll.
Governor Bullock.
$1 billion has been committed already, about $1.1 billion. It's actually on the website, so you could see where that money goes. If we had been waiting for Steve Daines to bring Democrats and Republicans together, our K-12 schools would not be open right now, because they said they'd take care of testing along the way, or they'd provide what our schools need. They never got it done. Our universities wouldn't be open. We committed $20 million for them. They couldn't wait on the university. I worked with President Trump to get extended unemployment benefits for a little while. So at the end of the day, what we need to do is actually make sure, first of all, dollars are going where they need to be. Everyone from Inga's Fashion in Great Falls to a sawmill operator said, you know, the PPP rules, I didn't even deal with it because I never knew what would happen. We've been focusing on Montana businesses along the way, getting them the money, and we'll continue for the next 4 months. And we'll see if Washington ever gets its act together.
Final word to Senator Daines.
Well, I said early on that only 30% of the dollars have been spent. The governor went from, well, they've been allocated So his rebuttal was, well, they've been committed. Look on the website. My question is, where are the dollars? Show me the money. If I'm in Miles City or in Plentywood or in Eureka, I want those dollars in my city's coffers where I can help people that are currently in need. And regarding the Paycheck Protection Program, over 24,000 Montana businesses participated in that. $1.7 billion was sent to the state of Montana. That helps our small businesses of 20 employees or less keep their employees on their payroll. I'll tell you, one of the greatest threats to healthcare right now in healthcare insurance is losing your job. You lose your job, given that 40% of Montanans receive their healthcare through their employer, you lose your job, you lose your healthcare. That's what we did there. It was so important. And I'm just very disappointed that the governor has not been really out front here, getting these dollars actually in the accounts across Montana. And regarding testing, the money for testing hasn't all been spent yet. We allocated billions of dollars here for testing around the country. Montana hasn't spent all its testing dollars yet.